Welcome to Life Coaches Unfiltered, where Desiree, Doree, and Michelle, three life coaches, are here to answer the questions you have, but we're afraid to ask. No fluff, no filters, just real talk to help you navigate life's big challenges. Let's dive in.
Howdy, howdy. Welcome back to another episode of Life Coaches Unfiltered. Today we're talking about toxic positivity and bright siding. If you don't know what that is, just stay tuned. Michelle, we're educating Michelle on what that is because we were just talking about it. So it's just me stirring the pot. Just me
I
stirring
think
the
us
pot.
British people just have other words for it. That's that.
Which
You
should be
know,
a good thing for us to learn too. What are the words for it?
yeah. Let's just do a quick check-in. It's the first day of school here, y'all. And
And it's
yeah,
cold.
thankfully
It
none of us have
is.
young children.
It's cold today.
It's a bit nippy.
Yes.
It's like the teaser of fall. It's the promo little trailer for fall. I feel like that's what's happening right now. And then
I
the
feel
fires
like
of
it's,
hell are going to come back.
I was going to say, I feel like it's a lie.
It is a lie. It is a lie, but what it
It's
instills in
100
me.
degrees last week and it was 70 yesterday. It's a lie.
And it's 64 today.
Is it really?
Mhm.
That's why I have on my like Sherpa parka thing today because I was like, I'm cold.
Oh man, I was delightfully surprised when I walked the dog this morning. Yeah. So anything y'all want to share? Insights before we get
Well,
started?
school started, so that means my husband is not in the house. He is
Party at
teaching those
Michelle's.
children, those children.
I was at dinner on Saturday night with some friends for a birthday outing, and there was a teacher at the table, and she teaches fifth graders. And y'all,
Oh,
she was like, the parents came for orientation. They were like, take him back.
Oh,
I was like,
I,
good luck
I,
with that.
I, I could not. I loved middle school and high school, and I was like, I can't deal with those hormones. I was like, give me those hormones. I just don't want those kids with all those little germs and moaning and screaming and wanting me to tie their shoes. And no.
and let's back up. You were a teacher at one point, right?
Yes, ma'am, for 18 years.
Listen, I decided in my wisdom, when you're in college, you don't know what you want to be when you grow up. I mean, hell, I'm in my 40s, and sometimes I ask myself that question. So I was an elementary education major for one semester, and I had to go and observe a class, and I left there and I was like, hell no, absolutely not. This is not the job for Desiree.
Mm-mm,
Yeah,
mm-mm.
I promptly changed my major. Never,
That's
never regretted that decision.
funny.
So anyway, yeah, like mm, all you teachers out there, school administrators, all y'all, just like thoughts and prayers, people. Thoughts and
Lots of
prayers.
Thoughts
respect.
and prayers. You are so funny.
I just, I don't know how y'all do
Have
it.
a
Y'all,
good year. I'm gonna say have a good year, guys. It's 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 not for the faint-hearted. It's
Mm.
no, it's
definitely not for
not.
the faint-hearted.
No. All right, so we're going to talk about
No.
toxic positivity today. So Michelle, what did you think of when I first like tossed this idea out?
I was just like, what? Is this something that Americans kind of have made up this word? Because I've never heard of it.
Because
And then
that's what we do as Americans. We make up words all the time just to
I'm sorry.
keep you on your toes.
It sounds horrible, but I'm just like, where do y'all get these words from? I don't understand. So that's why I had to dig deep, and I was like, oh, okay, now I understand what this is. But first of all, I was like, what? So y'all just love these words, and
I feel like I offended Doree because in my explanation, I was like, it's people that have those
Good
good vibes
vibes.
only. She was like, that's my doormat. I was like,
My
oh,
doormat says good vibes only.
yeah. I mean, it was my way of I guess I don't know. It was my way of the word is not coming to me. Generalizing like stereotyping. There we go. Stereotyping toxic positivity. But what it is it's just it's when people are so uncomfortable with difficult or negative emotions or things that don't feel good that they just constantly have to find the bright side, which is another like bright siding is kind of a form of toxic positivity. So like just look on the bright side, at least blah blah blah. Like I see this a lot in grief, especially after somebody loses somebody.
Mm.
And um the truth of the matter is the person that's usually offering like the toxic positivity or the bright side comment is uncomfortable with the difficult emotions. And so they're trying to get that crap out of the way so they don't have to talk about it.
Well, I think too, though, coming from a person that learns a lot about manifesting and how thoughts become things, I think also in this kind of culture that we have today of manifesting, what you think about comes about. It's also kind of pushes people to go to that side because there's like, don't think about bad things because bad things will happen. So I think that perpetuates this a lot as well of not being comfortable with that, some of it's bad feelings because you've been taught, or I know that I've been taught, and I have probably those words have left my mouth many times too. Um, fine, go ahead, you can sit with it, but go ahead and start finding the positive side of it so that you can get yourself out of it. So yeah, I guilty. Guilty.
I,
Well,
I think I think I'm guilty too, because I'm like, you know, I try and look, we can all get depressed and we can all get sad about things, and we do have to kind of bring some positivity, but then some of these words that are used, like, think about, don't forget you're here, your health, things could have been worse. I think as a friend or friends, or when we're talking to people, we do that automatically,
Mm-hmm.
I feel.
yeah,
Or
although
we
so it's a continuum. And I'm gonna all right. It's a continuum. I'll say that. I think Doree has an excellent point about the manifesting thing. And what
Mm,
we focus on does expand. I do believe that. But I
okay.
also, so there's a it's a spectrum. So you can have like you need to feel your feelings to work through them.
Yeah.
Period. End of story. You don't have to live in Eeyore land like Winnie the Pooh, where he's sad all the time and everything sucks, right? There's a balance there. But also, like, I had somebody, like, I had just gone through a divorce. My mom was diagnosed with ALS. It's a terminal illness without any treatment. And somebody said, like, I don't know if this person listens to the podcast. Maybe they will one day. They're a good friend of mine, and they gave me a gift, and it was a it was a mug, this disaster aware mug, which is like it's hilarious. It's supposed to look like those little blue and white like Dutch dishes, but it's like monsters coming to invade the cities and stuff. And so anyway, it's supposed to be funny. And she was like, "Well, your life could be worse." And I was like, "I don't feel
Mm,
that way right now. Like my
yeah.
mom is dying."
Yeah.
I was like,
Got a
I
divorce.
don't really feel that way right now. Like I don't know how my life could get much worse. Like I could we could brainstorm some ideas, but like that was not helpful,
Mm,
right?
Yeah.
And it opened a scab and I was like, I don't feel supported and this feels crappy, but I really love this person, but also I don't think they know what to say to me right now,
mm,
Yeah.
you know? And so like that's the part where I start to have an issue with it. But nobody wants to be around the chronically negative person. I wish I would have known that for like the first 30 years of my life. That probably drove a lot of people away. And I'm not a miserable wench, but I didn't realize that I was a miserable wench, right? But I think that some people just don't realize that they're just miserable. So like it's a good point of like it's a continuum.
It is. And you and I were talking about this the other day because it was like even the three of us fall on different parts of this spectrum as well, right? I'll never forget, y'all. And Sarah and I were talking about this. That's my bonus kid, one of my bonus kids. They turned 20 on Friday, by the way. I cannot believe it. But when Sarah was 12, her dad and I had been dating about a year. She did not like me for like the first 2.5 years. It was hard. It was really, really hard. And she said to me one day, "Why are you always so happy?" And I went, "Was that supposed to be an insult?" I don't know. Like, oh, but you know what? Thinking about that now, I'm 96% of the time, I am pretty much a bubbly, happy person until last year. Last year kind of changed that percentage quite a bit. When Ken passed away, which was actually a year yesterday.
Mhm.
So it is you're right, it's a continuum, and it's also a sliding scale of who you are just naturally as a person, of where you fall on this kind of like positivity thing. But you can take it to the part of being toxic, where you're little Miss Mary Sunshine all the time and not looking at, if someone would have said that to me last year, this time last year, well, look at the bright side. I probably would have smacked him across the face, because there comes a time sometimes where there is no bright side at that point, none whatsoever. Can I look back now in hindsight a year later and find beautiful gifts and the experience of, family coming together, even it was tumultuous at first, but looking at it and going, okay, I can. But in that moment, I think that there are times where there are times where positivity just doesn't have a place. I really do. It's you know,
I the okay. Sidebar. If you're supporting somebody in grief, the best thing you can do for them is to witness their grief without judgment. Let them tell their story. You don't have to fix. People feel like they have to fix. And I think that's where the toxic positivity comes in. I don't know what to say, so I'm just going to play the optimist. Well, you know what, Sparky, if you're not the optimist usually in your life, like it ain't going to help right now. And those people don't want to hear what you have to say.
yeah,
So
yeah.
just keep your mouth shut and listen.
Even
And
with
don't,
a breakup
I
too,
was
right,
I was
Desiree?
just thinking the same thing, Doree, a breakup. I was just like, that's
Yeah.
same thing. And I think
Pain hurts.
does does. And with you guys talking about divorce and breaking up, I remember trying to break up with an ex, and my mother had passed, and he was just a complete utter ass, or ass with my British accent.
I love that.
we
I
like
love it
off.
better. It sounds so much fancier when you say it with your accent.
You
I
know
mean,
what?
seriously,
We should
serious.
have merch that, because os, the way that
Boss.
you say os, I feel like that should be spelled A-U-S. Don't be an os. That could be a
You're so
sticker.
funny. You are so
Okay.
funny.
All
I
right.
just,
Sorry.
it's all right. I just felt that he was not supportive, of the fact that, my mother had passed, and then we were in the process of getting married, so to speak, but that all kind of was placed on hold, and it was just kind of like, no, let's keep going. Let's keep. And I'm just kind of like, what is wrong with you? Like, my mum's just passed, and it was kind of like, well, she was my mother too, and I'm just kind of like, what? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Like, there was no empathy, there was no kind of like, let's just talk about it. And that's where I had to go and get help. I had to go and get a therapist, because I'm just like, all right, I can't talk to the person that I'm about to get married to. There's a problem here. And then obviously we broke up because he was not the right person for me. But yeah, that was not a great experience. Not a great experience at all.
Yeah.
Um, and I just needed someone to support and just listen, instead of just telling me certain things. And it is hard because as you said, you want to fix the problem, you want to be there and you want to make things better. And sometimes if we know our friends or family, we have to kind of, all right, what makes them feel better? And sometimes they just may need to you just need to listen. And that's
There's
it.
sometimes when I am, a friend is going through something, I will even just say, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say, but all I want you to know is I'm here.
Mm.
Because don't, it's the same, like when people ask me like how the kids are doing. And I love that. I love that people care about me and the kids and what we've experienced, so what we're continuing to experience is the grief process, it comes in ebbs and flows. But how do you answer that? I'm glad, I'm again grateful. And for anybody who's asked me that, thank you so much for taking an interest in me and the kids, even if you don't know them, taking that interest and asking. But it's still, as a person on that side of it, it's sort of so you give toxic positivity. You give the positive news.
Okay.
I yeah.
So I don't know that that's I think that's a societal thing. I don't know if I would categorize as toxic positivity. I
Okay.
struggle with this question too, Dory. When my mom she can't speak. She can't
Right.
swallow. Like she can't walk. Like she's slowly being paralyzed. It sucks. It sucks to watch this. And people be like, how's your mom's doing? How's your mom doing? And one day I looked at my sister. I was like, how do I answer this effing
Right.
question? How do I? And so I looked at the person. I said, as best as can be expected.
Hmm.
And like, it was honest, but it wasn't necessarily like, I probably didn't say it with that sharpness of tone, but I was like, she's dying. We're all dying. I mean, that is the truth. Or was that's a whole nother sidebar. The last two days of last week, I was in a grief summit. And y'all, grief people, we have a lot of joy, but we also have a lot of like just raw dog humor. And they were like, life is terminal. We're all dying. But she was really struggling. And but my mom had the best attitude that she could have for something like that. She
Yeah.
didn't get anger. She didn't get bitter. It was a gift. I don't know. Maybe she was being toxically positive to us to make it easier on us. I don't know. But I had to be honest and real with my answer and not feel like I was giving platitudes because on
Yeah.
authenticity to me. And so I was like, how in the hell do I do that without like, oh, she's fine. She's doing great. No,
Yeah.
I was like, as best as can be expected.
But,
That's
I the
honest.
way the way that I come at it too is I just kind of say, well, they were teenagers. They turned 20 on Friday. So, but as teenagers, how do you know how a teenager's feeling anyway? I mean, so that's kind of that we don't sit around and talk about feelings. We call that the F word at home. We don't talk about the F word, but I try. I'm like, how are you doing with this? How's everything going? I kind of like I want to be gentle and
Mm.
not push myself in because I can totally be like, let's talk about feelings. Can we talk about feelings? I love feelings. Let's talk about feelings. And they want to puke everywhere when I act that way. So I just want to be, come to them in a way that's just kind of like, how are you doing? And they know what I'm talking about without saying what I'm talking about, and they just fine. I'm
I
like, yeah, and I
agree.
have to just take fine as fine, that type of thing.
I
So
think that's everyone's go-to. How are you doing? Yeah, I'm fine.
yes,
And then but really, I mean, it'd be great for just some say, you know what, I feel shit.
yeah. There's actually an acronym for fine. If you know what the acronym
What is
is.
it?
All right, everybody, I'm about to do it. Michelle, brace yourself. I'm going to drop the F bomb.
Yes.
Fucked up, insecure, neurotic. I can't remember what the E stands for. I'm gonna have to look it up, but
Well, we can ask
Wow.
the Googles. Let's ask the Googles. Uh, wait, the Googles might not know.
Maybe not.
maybe not.
Fucked up, insecure, neurotic, and emotional. The Googles knew. Um, That's hilarious. Because I was like, I had a moment, I had a stroke of genius. It might not be a stroke of genius, it might be a stroke of like stupidity. But I was like, let's go around the room and do some role playing. How do we answer that question today? How are you doing, Michelle? Answer
I'm all right.
honestly.
I'm all right.
Come see, come saw. That's how we say it.
Come
And
see, come saw.
so that's how we say it
Speaking
in French,
French,
right? Come
you're
see, come
so
saw.
funny.
Like this, like that, right? Come see, come
I
saw.
mean, the weather, you know what? The weather does affect me. I'm going to be honest. For living in England for 30 odd years and it's grey and it's raining, it's not cold, cold. Like, it's not like chill to your bones. I'm kind of like, ugh. Like, I'm just, that's why I got my bright lights. So I'm not suffering from sad.
Okay.
But the weather does affect me. So I'm all right.
Doree, how are you doing? Honestly.
Honestly, um, I'm running a little slow today. I did not sleep well. I thought I handled yesterday very well, and for the most part, yes, until it went time to go to sleep. And I couldn't, I had like a little bit touch of anxiety and didn't sleep very well. So this morning I'm draining a little bit, hence the big ass mug of coffee this morning.
Desi, how are you feeling? How
How
you
about
doing?
you?
How you doing?
How
I'm
you
feeling
doing?
especially pudgy and my sleep was trash. I woke up at like
Mm.
2:30. Although I am reading a fascinating book on grief right now. Y'all, what is wrong with me? What the hell is wrong with me? Like Thursday, I was on these grief like seminars for like 4 or 5 hours. I got off and I was like, y'all have to hear what we learned today. And I was like, nobody, my people at dinner do not want to talk to me about grief. You know? I was like, there's a hospice nurse and she was brutally honest. And like, I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you, Desiree?
It's
But
your passion.
it is my passion. I wish I could pick a different one,
I was
You
just
right?
about
know,
to say
everybody needs it. We need you.
this is
The
your
world
zone
needs
of
you.
genius.
I don't
Hello.
know. I didn't want it to be my zone of genius. I would like to be much better at things like sports ball, some kind of sports ball. But like, yeah. So I did my 7 minute presentation a couple weeks ago on this grief program that I'm doing for the fall. We're not going to get into it. If you're interested, go to my website. It'll be posted there shortly, or find me on the socials. Anyway, so I was talking about this grief seminar I'm doing, this grieving through the holidays kind of thing, because that I'm an expert on that too. That's fun. And then I didn't ask for that, but whatever. It's how your life plays out. But yeah, I David Kessler, who I study with, he didn't ask for this either. We just kind of land here. And I can't explain, but I think because I had such a miserable time, especially after my dad died, and I was just wandering through the world thinking, what the fuck is happening to me? Like, there was somebody in my family who died recently, and their immediate family member called me and was like, "How did you do this twice? Like, how did you lose
Mhm.
your parent twice?" And I was like, "Well, it sucks." But once you've been there, and I mean, Doree, I don't know what losing a spouse like that is like, right? I can talk about loss from like a general perspective, but there's this woman who studied grieving in the brain, and it's fascinating. I'm reading her book, so
Wow.
like when I couldn't sleep at 2:30 in the morning, I woke up and started reading that, and I was like, this is kind of enjoyable. Maybe I should do my reading in the middle of the night when I can't sleep because of hormones and shit. But yeah, so I mean, that's how I'm feeling today. It's like come see, come saw,
Come
like
see,
this, like
come
that.
saw.
I think that's the kind of we're all come see, come saw today.
Yeah. Well,
That's
I mean,
okay.
and honestly, I think that's how we are most of the time. But like the big deal with toxic positive, it's okay to be authentic, but the big thing is like the toxic positivity is it's this unhealthy obsession with this toxic, like with positive emotions, right?
Yeah.
So it's denying like your humanness,
Yeah.
that you have these ups and downs and
Mm.
this constant pressure or expectation to be happy all the freaking time. That's what toxic positivity is.
I met this woman once
Exhausting to
who
be like, sounds exhausting to be happy all the time. But anyway, sorry, Dory.
I met this woman once who was a coach in toxic positivity. That was like her area of expertise was how not to be that way. So she helped people like dig, and her thing was the trauma, like actually digging in and going at it and that kind of thing. And it was interesting at the time because again, I'm more on the happier end of the spectrum. Um, she offended me in so many ways. I was so offended that she was just coming at people that were positive, that I was like, oh, I'm not. But after a while of listening to what she had to say, I realized that she had a place for people who didn't resonate with me. And my, maybe, Sarah would have been better going over there to talk to her instead of her stepmom. I don't know. But, it just that it, everybody has a home, I guess I should say. And when we talk about us being coaches and how we all do things differently, and we all have our different like places of genius, and that sort of thing, knowing that there is actually people out there who like, if you think that Doree's too happy and you're like, I don't want to work with her, then there are people that actually can support like going down into the trauma and going into those types of ways of dealing, with whatever it is that you want to work on and that sort of thing. But yeah, I was mad. I was so mad at her when I heard her talk, and she actually had on a shirt that says like something fuck emotions and or like or no what fuck positivity or something like that. I was like, oh my God, you're an angry person.
So, okay, that's an interesting thing because when people hear that I'm a grief coach, like they run the other way. They think I'm like, oh God, I don't want to talk to her, But two people that went to that 7 minute were like, wow, Desi, you talked about grief without making me depressed. And I'm like, hey
Hmm.
guys, we all experience it. Do you know? And so let's talk about it because it's not making the world any better to pretend that it doesn't exist. It's just making us all sick.
Yeah.
Like that anyway, that's my opinion. But I agree, Doree. Like so you gotta find where you are on this in this spectrum. Because I don't know that leading with the fuck positivity is really I that's not the brand I want.
It
That's
breaks my heart.
the extreme. Like, I mean, what? Like, so fuck positivity. So what else is there?
I mean,
Embrace negativity. I
Are
don't
we are we
know.
are we supposed to be miserable all the time? Are we supposed to? I mean,
let's just be authentic. Let's be real. Like
Yeah.
maybe that's what she was trying to say, but like yeah, I don't know.
look at Desi trying to defend her.
I mean, because maybe that would I don't know. I don't know. The first
I
time I
heard she
really
did amazing work. I will tell you this. I heard that she really helped a lot of people work through their trauma and things like that. So I'm not trying to throw shade at her or anything like that, but just it was a total opposite end of the spectrum. And it was at a time where I was, learning how to manifest and all of those things. And so I was kind of like, how do you do that? But you know once I started also learning too that you're not happy all the time, and there are times where you do need, grief is a huge one, but there are times to be angry, there are times to be resentful, there are those times where humans, it's going to happen. So allowing yourself to work through them. I'm like, you can go for a visit, just don't make a home there. Don't move your furniture in and set up your bedroom and be all cozy in your anger and resentment, because that's not good. But
you're
but
allowed to go camping and bring an air mattress.
I love it.
But
I love it.
eventually air mattresses pop a hole and you're sleeping on the ground. And when you're sleeping on the ground, get your ass up and go home to your
Go
happy home.
home. Yes. I
But
love that.
anyway, that's just you can camp in the miserable land. But so I talked a little bit about the coaching framework that I learned when I went to coaching school, and it's all about energy levels. And so there's catabolic energy and anabolic energy. So catabolic energy is energy that drains you, and the lowest level of energy is victimhood. That is our Negasaurus Rex. That is what my one of my friends. I'm stealing that term. Hi, Colleen. If you ever listen to this, I love your Negasaurus Rex. I steal it all the time. So, Negasaurus Rex, lowest level of energy, very draining. Level two is like conflict. Level three is apathy. Level four is helping to your own detriment. Level five. Anyway, so as you go up, the more positive you get. So level seven is like connection with the divine, all is love. Like could be toxic positivity. The interesting thing is it's harder to stay at the higher levels of energy for long periods of time. And so, like I think it's inauthentic to try to pretend to be happy all the time. Um, but when we were learning about all these levels of energy, people are like, well, catabolic energy is bad. And our trainers were like, pump the brakes. Let's not jump to conclusions on that because every energy level can serve us. If we're in
Mm.
grief, we might feel like the victim. It might feel good, like it might be productive to feel those crappy emotions because it allows you to work through them. And so I think that's what toxic positivity is denying that you can feel those negative emotions and they're useful. Does that make sense?
It totally makes sense. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I see it.
The
Michelle, you've
world
been
through
quiet.
Desi.
I like the sorry, I'm still on the Negasaurus Rex. I'm kind of like, that's what I'm like
It's another
saying. It's
American
really
word.
cool. I like that.
Hey, I like your being happy all the time is exhausting.
Of course.
I freaking love that. I wrote it down, Michelle.
But it is. I mean, I feel like it's also like being a perfectionist as well.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know what that's like at all. I
You're
don't know
so
what you're talking
funny.
about.
Like
Who?
I have to be happy all the time because this is my persona. This is what people know me
Yeah.
about. This is, people see me like this all the time. I'm like, come on. Like that's got to be so draining.
Think
There's
about
got to be a
social.
time where you fall off the cliff and be like, ah, drop off and be like, oh my God,
They
how
do it
am I
behind closed doors, Michelle.
seriously?
They do it behind closed doors. I was just thinking, like, think about social media.
Oh
Everybody
gosh.
always puts their best face forward on social media. Look at all this is going on. No one
Mhm.
shows you like in the bathroom floor crying with mascara running down your face, like going, I just, had an emotional outburst and I kicked the cat. They don't like show
Yeah, what kind
you.
of person are you? A monster? That's a whole new species of
I don't I
dinosaur.
I don't have a cat, so I don't kick anything. Just so that everybody knows you should never kick an animal. I should probably never have said that.
No,
But
I just,
I don't
oh my
but
God.
but nobody like it's a persona, and you're right,
Yeah.
Michelle. It's exhausting. It's a mask that people wear that shows everybody my life is always together and everything is perfect and nothing ever, goes wrong. And, I don't even like, fart. It's like it's one of those things.
And I call bullshit.
Everybody farts. Newsflash, we all fart.
Okay, we have all gone now in a different direction with this, but
Oh, seriously.
Oh my God. Oh my God. We are off the rails today. All right. So one
We've
of
had
the
no sleep. We're all
this
right.
lack of sleep.
We're at
and
wackadoodle today. It's okay.
our midlife hormones are making our ADHD symptoms like be more. Do y'all know this? I did not know this. When our estrogen decreases, it brings to the surface. It makes like any neurodivergent symptoms that we have as women. I maybe this is all bullshit, but in women, it bubbles those up to the surface. And I was like, oh, this is why I'm on the struggle bus, probably. Or maybe
Oh,
I'm just crazy. But yeah,
great. Something else for us to think about.
I tell you what, like the midlife women, y'all, the struggle is real. Like sometimes I feel like I'm losing my freaking mind. I'm like,
Yeah. Are
why?
you
Why am
are you ladies following the lady that we do not care club because you have to?
Yes.
I mean, I laugh every time I listen to her. Sorry, I know we're digressing, but that just helps me sometimes during the days. Like, what in the world? Like, I think the other one I I heard, which made me laugh So much. She goes, we don't care if our bra is hanging off our door and you're going to use my bathroom. Do not move it. And I was just in hysterics when she said that.
We were I was at dinner the other night with friends and we were talking. There were a couple people at dinner and had not heard of this We Do Not Care Club lady. And so we were sending them, her Instagram and Facebook profiles. And so we started talking about the shit we didn't care about. And one of them was wearing granny panties and like underwear lines and yoga pants and stuff. And like it's one of the girls was like, yeah, my relative was like, oh, they had like this teen and they were like, we can see your underwear line. She says, good. Good. I'm glad you know I'm wearing underwear. It's like, oh, damn. I need to submit
Oh,
that. I don't know if she's talked about it, but anyway. Yeah. So yeah, the men that are listening to this are like, Lord have mercy. Let's not talk about y'all's
Here we
underwear.
go again.
hey,
So
we do not care club. There we go. Find her.
my
Listen
give a
to her
damn
now,
is
then you can
broken.
understand.
Oh my God. So one of the other terms that I dropped when we were chatting about this episode was bright siding, and which is a
Mm.
manifestation of toxic positivity, is when you're trying to find the bright side of a situation. And I mean, y'all, I did this shit. I'm not saying I haven't ever done this, like before I really knew. Finding the silver lining, like let people like experience their crappy emotions, right? Instead of
Yeah.
always trying to find the bright side. Um, yeah. And so what I love, there was this article that I read, and it was the bright side is just another gaslight. It's telling someone who is being force-fed a shit sandwich that they should appreciate the free lunch. So that was by Jane Ruffino on her article, White Bright Siding is also gaslighting and positivity can still be toxic. I love that. Like, holy shit, you're being fed a shit sandwich, but you should appreciate the lunch. Anyway.
I'm sorry that I mean that's funny.
Mm.
But I mean it is. I mean, I don't know why I had that song. Look, please look on the bright side of life. That
Always
song
look
came
on the
straight to my
bright
head.
side of life. Doo doo,
I have
doo
this
doo,
song,
doo
I'm
doo, doo
Mr.
doo, doo
Brightside in mine. Oh,
doo. Doree's
That is
got
the
the
song
rock
that
and
yeah
roll.
that came to my head.
What is that song from, Michelle? The always,
Don't
I mean, Mr.
know.
Brightside is a rock song, but
I feel
yeah,
like
that's
it's
the
from
one I
Mary
have in
Pop.
mine. It's I'm Mr. Brightside.
Is it like from Mary Poppins or something? I don't know.
it's a Monty Python song.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
Well, at least I was British.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, okay. It's a Monty Python thing. Yeah. Anyway, okay. I had no idea. Thankfully for the Googles.
the Googles.
But
Thank you,
anyway,
Google.
yeah, so that's bright siding. So if people are like, what, I learned about bright siding in grief education. I was like, wait, what is this? So yeah, it doesn't surprise it. They're kind of new terms to me in the last couple years, but now that I know them, I start to see them when they pop up. I'm like, oh, that's what that is.
But I would say I'm guilty. I mean, for doing it, saying, oh, but let's think about the positives. Let's think about
Yeah,
what's happened, and that's not probably what the person needs. They just need you to shut up and just listen and just kind of be there, and they'll ask you for your opinion when they when they need it. But you don't have to force feed it to them of, oh yeah, look at the silver lining. Let's say you've got your health, you've got a car, you've got your house, you've got your la la la. Don't care right now.
yeah.
Do not care right now because I am feeling this.
I think there comes a
So
time where it transitions into where it is time to start looking. I think what is it Shirzad calls it the gift and finding the gift in what it is that you're experienced in that moment, but well, not while you're in it. I think that while you're in it, experience what that uncomfortable ickiness feels like in that moment. And then once you move past into a certain stage, kind of out of it, then you can start to go back and look and find those different gifts. But it is hard to find a gift, especially when you're in grief, when you've just lost your job. all of those different things. It's hard to find the bright side in that. So experience it, lean into people that are going to just be there so you can, put your head on their shoulder and just say, I don't know what I have nothing to say to you right now, but I'm just here.
Mm.
Yeah. Like the thing that feels authentic to me when I'm in that moment, in that space of like, I know that there could be an upside to this or a different perspective is I don't understand why this is happening, but I look forward to the day in which I do. And so that honors the shitty feelings that I'm in,
I like
but it's
that.
leaving space for something to be explained or make sense in the future. So it's seeing the duality of the situation, and it
Yeah.
I
feels
like that.
authentic to me. So like figure out what that is for you. Like, because shoving the shit down it's just going to come back up,
Yeah.
and and then probably in a less opportune time. Let's be real. So what can you do to work through that, to honor what you need to feel right now, but also realize when you've been camping in miserable land for too long and it's time for your stay to expire? I mean, even the national parks will kick you out after 2 weeks. So like, just saying.
And depending on where you're camping, if you're camping in, on a safari, your ass will get eaten by a lion or so it's time to pack up and get your ass out.
GTFO. Yeah. All right, Michelle. Do you want to do the
The
uncomfortable?
question. Oh, the uncomfortable question. Let me see what we got this week.
Oh my God.
Ooh, eeny, meeny, miny,
It
mo.
scares me. Like now I have the anxiety that y'all used to have in season 1 when I would do this.
Okay. Have you ever felt ashamed for not being positive enough?
Mhm.
Yeah. I think I'm ashamed now at well, like I think how negative I was most of my life. I
Hmm.
didn't know. Like when we know better, we do better. I think was somebody on Oprah said that. It might have been Maya Angelou. I don't want to butcher her name. When we know better, we do better. But I have a story, y'all. Back before I was enlightened, back in the old days, I went on this whitewater kayaking weekend for women. Not a good idea. Desi does not like like I don't like whitewater kayaking. Not my jam. I like to float on like a slow moving river and take my time and watch the birds, right? I'm a granny kayaker. I like relaxation, not this adrenaline shit where you could die very easily. You could die on a slower moving river. Okay. So we were at dinner and I had this really negative experience at the LaGuardia when I was flying home from New York City. And, you know, recognizing I didn't trust myself. It was a time when I spoke up, like somebody cut in front of me in line because they didn't realize like I was there. Like they just didn't see me. And so I asserted myself and said, "Excuse me, I believe I was next in line." And the person was like, did not handle it well. Like they were mean to me. But like as someone understanding the dynamic I grew up in and who like just I needed to be seen and I needed to be told it was okay for you to stand up for yourself in that moment, Desi. Right? I was looking for that validation. Well, I was shopping for bread in the hardware store. If you are in recovery, you understand that metaphor, right? And I told this story at this dinner and I was like, I just needed people to validate me. And the instructor came down hard on me and was like, "Why did you bring that energy to this blah blah blah?" And I was like, what the fuck just happened? And I was like, oh, this person hates me and now I get to spend the whole weekend with them on the river learning from them, and here's this person that everybody loves and she hates me. And I still remember how shitty that felt in that moment. And I was like, so I went back to my cabin and I was beating myself up and I was like, why did I do that? I'm a terrible person. Y'all, I understand now. I was just looking for fucking validation. I just need somebody to say, Desi, it's okay. And that was all about me healing shit from like my inner child and probably some woo-woo stuff. Like it makes sense to me now, like because I have done a lot of work since then, and I recognize that that was a pattern that I didn't feel that I ever got when I needed it. Um, yeah, I don't think that the way she handled it was good. I'm
Mm-mm.
just saying, like, I'm not throwing shade. We both could have done better. But I understand the situation much more. But man, I felt shameful and disgusting and horrible. And it felt terrible. And I still, every time I think of that person, I think of that the way that I felt when it was awful. And anyway, yeah, I guess I need to let that shit go. But yeah, that was a time where I was like very publicly told you're not like you're bringing negative energy to this group and you should be ashamed about that. And I didn't understand why I was doing it. Yeah. Damn. Didn't recall that story, Michelle. Thanks for digging that one up, a little archaeological dig.
You want me to change this question, Doree? I've got a few questions
You're
that I
like,
can
Desi, I just
change.
needed an appetizer as an answer, and you gave me a whole 7-course dinner. All right, I'm done now.
uh, Michelle, what about you?
I'm still trying to think about my experience, but I feel like in my 20s, I was just in a roller coaster of being negative all the time about situations and what was happening in my life. And, I could never ever see anything in a positive way. And I don't know whether that was from, my mother because she was always negative and never positive, even though I love, still love her to death to this day, even though she's been gone for a while. But I was always negative and always saw problems. I think I was the nervous wreck, the anxiety queen of everything. Like, oh my God, I don't have enough money. We're never going to do this. It was just kind of like I was always in that negative state. And I wish I would have been more positive because I think better things would have happened in my
Hmm.
life. Or I would have probably been a little bit less naive, maybe. I feel like everyone's naive in their 20s. Um, but I did. I just feel like so many things went bad in my 20s, Even though, I bought a flat for the first time and all those nice things, but really I was in that negative space of mine and I could have manifested. I think I learned that towards the end of my 30s, beginning of my 40s of manifesting and things will happen and you've got to try and be in a more positive state. But yeah, we've also got to acknowledge it's going to be a sucky day sometimes, and let's just acknowledge that. But yeah, I was negative, and I just don't know. Again, think it was probably from my mother of being negative, not seeing the good things about things.
I think we pick up those patterns from our parents way more than we like give ourselves credit for, right?
Yeah,
Is I think
Yeah.
there was like some negativity I picked up in my family patterns, but
yeah.
understanding the ways that the households that my parents grew up in makes a lot of sense.
Mm. But I wish it hadn't lasted for so long, because I
Yeah,
feel that things, not that I look bad and my life has been bad, but I wish I'd done different things a little bit earlier.
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Dory.
Yeah, Miss Brightside here. So I think, one of the things I will say though is like before I got sober, I was always waiting for the other shoe to drop. So that was, what else is going to happen next? Now in my life, my good friends, we kind of like go, but of course, because, I guess when I signed up for this life, I said, give me a dramatic one, give me like everything that's going to just like I want it big. I want everything to be really big. Um, but what I was thinking about when you ladies were, when I was thinking like, oh, what am I going to say, and talking through was the times I found when I'm negative. I think that for me, I was thinking about regret. And when I've been in my most negative Nelly moments, anybody named Nelly, I'm sorry. If I'm thinking about my most negative moments, I find that I have been the least supportive of other people because I am so far in my own shit and my own negativity that I missed a golden opportunity to help somebody else. And and that's, I think, the key thing that I want to say about like all of this today is that like everybody is going through something, whatever face that they're showing you, everybody is going through something. And so knowing that behind that smiley face, there's something that's happening underneath the covers, and having a little bit of compassion for other people, and knowing that I may be showing you a smiley face, but I may be crying on the inside. And until I can show you my real tears, just know that there's something else happening underneath. And so staying in a negative emotion for so long, you're missing the golden opportunity to help other people who may need your assistance and your love and your compassion. And there have been many friends in my life, and for the people, I've made my amends when I got sober of all of the hurt and destruction that I caused as a part of my drinking days. But, I'm sure there's tons more out there that I did not get to say I'm sorry. But yeah, I think for me, that was the big thing, is I missed opportunities to actually show up and be there for other people because I was wallowing in my own shit.
Yeah.
Damn,
And I
I
think
feel like that was deep. Like all of we're telling all our good stuff here.
oh my
All our
God.
issues. Wow.
We got problems.
We got problems and we help people with their problems. Look at that.
Listen, I think because we have like done that work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think people get into this helping profession because they have done the work and they see the other side and they're like, your life can be different. I had no idea. We talked about that in the last episode. Like I had no idea that people could be happy and not have a perfect life. Like, I looked at people and I was like, so if you haven't listened to that episode, we talk about why happy people might be pissing you off. So, all right, we've got quotes. But before we end with quotes, I want to let Doree talk about a product that she has that might be helpful in this scenario. And also, Doree, I want you to kick off our quotes with your quote that you didn't like. You were like, we just hit stop recording. And you were like, man, I had a really cool quote to share. So share a little bit about your offer, share the quote, and then we'll wrap up and talk about the next episode.
Okay. For the people that are out there that are afraid of hypnosis, I do what's called a hypnotation. And it is about taking people into a meditative state, which most people are comfortable with meditation, but applying a few of hypnotherapy techniques within it. And it is about being able to raise your mood from being at a low, whatever mood level that is. And there is a scale, like Desiree talked about, of different like energy levels and moods. So being able to like lift your mood. So I have this hypnotation for $9.97 that will have the link that's going to be a part of this. Or if you need it, you can reach out to me directly on my socials as well. But it's a really neat thing. It doesn't take very long. It's about 15 minutes long. And it's something that will really help you to raise your vibration. And if you do that, I also will give you my playlist on what I call running on a sunny day. And what that is for me is my own special playlist, or if you want to make your own, make your own. But it's music that lifts up my spirits when I'm feeling down. And so I can give you that when you get the hypnotation, I'll give you access to my playlist for that as well. So
Cool.
thank you.
Dancing and music is a great way to shift your energy. So if you're
so amazing.
you're in the funk, put on some funky music and dance around.
I think I told you this. So I did a workshop once for people, and I actually bought everybody the belly dance scarves, and we actually danced as a part of the workshop. And I have been known to put mine on and dance around the living room. So
Oh wow.
it creates a fun environment, and it just sometimes it feels good to be goofy and funny. And if you can't do it in front of other people, just do it for yourself. So okay, my quote. And
Yes.
this is actually my quote, so I'm excited to share it. And it is this I was chasing after happiness, and when I stopped running, it found me.
Mm. Wow.
So, yeah.
By Doree O'Neill.
Do you have one, Michelle?
I do. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is sit with someone in the dark instead of trying to turn on the light. And that's by Unknown, but I think that's very poignant. Like, just sit in the dark and just be. And the light will shine at some point, but doesn't have to be that second.
One of the things that someone told me is you appreciate the stars so much more in the darkness.
I love
Mm.
that.
And I was like, oh, that's deep. Yeah, it's true. Because that's when you find those little glimmers. I am gonna go with the Brene Brown one, which is you can't selectively numb emotions. When we numb the painful ones, we also numb joy, gratitude, and happiness. I talk about that all the flipping time. And like even on this grief summit, there's all these grief experts all over the world, coming and talking about difficult aspects of grief, trauma, like grief and trauma being intertwined and all the things. And they're like, yeah, when we all get together to like do joint presentations, like we go out and have a good time, and I think that it does help like the hard times help me appreciate the really good times. And I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah.
All right, Doree, do you want to talk about our next episode? We're gonna be talking about do you we're talking
What are we
about
talking
growth
about?
and fixed mindset. What?
Sorry. My mind was like back. I was like, growth and fixed mindset. Yes, yes, yes. So, there is a difference. And a lot of people think that they're in a growth mindset, but they're probably not. They're in what's called a fixed mindset. So next episode, we're going to talk about what's the difference in the two and how you can shift from one to the other. So join us next week. Subscribe, love us. We love you.
Yeah.
And we're
Send
looking
us
forward to the next.
questions. Send us
Yes,
questions.
Please.
y'all.
Yes.
Like if you have topics or questions, there's a form. All of the links to our main website is always in the show description. You so you can find us, connect with us, let us know what you think about the show. We've had some local folks call and give us their opinions and their thoughts. And then yeah, so we've got some other cool stuff. We've got up to episode 6 defined. So we're gonna talk about like uh, why do we apologize for everything?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm
I
sorry.
know, right? And then anyway, but if we still got some room for other ideas. So if you guys have questions, we would love to do a question episode. Like send us your hard questions.
Yes.
And
Yes,
That'll
yeah,
be
that
let
would be
us noodle
fun.
on those. You might get some free coaching.
Or not.
There,
I
we
might
go
be
to
bright siding or
I go
positive
to improv like once a
positivity.
month, and they have this skit that they do where it's like good, bad, and terrible advice. And so somebody asks a question and they give like a good answer, a like not so good answer, and a terrible answer, and it's hilarious. And I feel like we could totally do that.
Oh, I would
Okay.
love, let's do that one episode. I think that would be so much fun.
Send us your difficult situations and we will play good, bad, terrible.
Love it. I love it. Let's do it.
Is this a podcast
Oh
or
my
an
God, is
improv
this a good
show?
idea or not?
I don't know, man. I mean, Michelle wanted us to coach each other, and I was like, hard pass, hard
Eh?
pass. I do not want to be coached and videoed and it posted on YouTube. Talk about anxiety.
Well, that's another story.
I know. Maybe I need
Whole
it.
nother episode.
All right, y'all. That's enough for today. We really appreciate y'all tuning in. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
See
Bye,
you
everybody.
later. Bye. Thanks for tuning in to Life Coaches Unfiltered. If you loved this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, or follow us on social media. Got a question you've been afraid to ask? Send it our way at lifecoachesunfiltered@gmail.com. Until next time, keep growing, keep questioning, and stay unfiltered.